Hello friends, today I will be discussing about IIMB UG strategy. Here, even before going on to the strategy, let me run you through a short glimpse of what exactly IIM Bangalore is offering for its undergraduate course. And it is launched by, this is the first year they are launching this course. So let us see actually what all they are offering and what pattern entrance tests are they conducting. So if you could see this IIMB UG official website, here it is given what undergraduate program does IIM Bangalore offer. It basically, here they are saying that they are being offering two programs. One is BSc in economics with data science minor, and the other degree is BSc in data science with economics minor. So the way they have curated this course is that here in total they are taking an intake of 80 students. Per batch they are putting the limit of 40 students, let's say per major of 40 students. And actually the way this course is curated, if you can look at their curriculum, it is the way in which they are ensuring that student gets overall development with the data science and as well as economics. I mean, both the courses are inculcated very properly such that you will have a tech knowledge in addition to the economic fundamentals. So basically, if you could see what is the way they are going to this exam is that this is some key dates which you have to remember indeed. If you could see, the exam application window is already open now and it is going to be closed on 20th November, whereas the test date is 13 December 2025. 13 December means we are hardly left out with the 40 days of time period. So it is very high time that people should focus on this. And if you could see, one additional advantage over here is that the offer release is on 28 December 2026. The interviews are in late January. The point is that when you get an offer on 28 February 2026 or before, let's say, that will definitely reduce your stress on the exams which are going to appear. Let's say BITSAT, or let's say even the JEE or any exam which you are planning in your 12th grade. This will be definitely one of the main exam which you have to focus on, because once you get an admit from here, it's really very much sorted, I would say. Indeed, you're getting into one of the premier school in the company in the India where you are pursuing your undergraduation. Now, having said that, what is the entrance test? I mean to say, what format and syllabus is this particular test following? If you could see here, they have mentioned they are picking the syllabus from 10th, 11th, 12th NCERT syllabus, let's say, and the exam is conducted for 2 hours, divided into 3 sections: English comprehension 15 questions, Quant and DI 30 questions, and logical reasoning another 15 questions. So basically, they are including the syllabus. We will look at the syllabus in a meanwhile now. But when I saw this, or when the Cracku is personally monitoring this, and when they saw it, we have created 5 free mocks for you people, curated on the same pattern of 2 hours with 15, 30, 15 questions, 3 sections. These are 5 mocks which you can give it for free. You have to just go on to Google and search for IIMB UG, Cracku IIMB UG mock test, where you will be navigated to this web page. You can register yourself and start giving this free mocks, because this will make you assess better where are you standing currently, and in the next 40 days, let's say hardly 40 days. So in this 40 days, you have to put in effort and directed effort. It's not that you're just putting in random hours of effort. It is about strategically, smartly, you have to analyze where you are weaking, and those be it conceptual weakness or even the application part. Accordingly, you have to put in effort so that you could definitely improve on your score by the time of exam, that is 13 December. So this is one thing I would definitely ask each one of you to go and give this test. It is very high quality test indeed. Though this might appear all the 5 free marks, these are questions which are like, let's not say that super difficult, let's not say super easy. It's like on a moderate level, which definitely you people should be aiming to ace them. So one is this thing. And in order to support you people in your preparation part for this exam, we have also created a WhatsApp channel, which the link is already in the YouTube description. So definitely go check it. And now let us go with the IIMB UG entrance test sections. Here, if you could see, as we already discussed on the webpage of IIM Bangalore, there are 3 sections: English comprehension 15, Quant and DI 30, and logical reasoning 15. So assuming them to be giving a time according to the number of weightage, I mean number of questions and marks weightage, this 120 minutes should have been, or should be segregated in the form of 30 minutes of English comprehension. Quant and DI should be given 1 hour, let's say, and another 30 minutes for this thing for logical reason. But having said this, still we are not clear if IIM Bangalore is following the same thing, or are they going to give an option to attempt the questions which you are interested in. I mean to say, there can be a possibility where IIM Bangalore is making a test in which 2 hours where you can toggle between the 3 sections as per your convenience. That is, entire 2 hours, all the questions will be available, all the 60 questions, so that you can answer as per your convenience. But we are not sure if that is the case, or they are going to give a section wise time limit. Assuming that they are giving a section wise time limit, we have made the mocks indeed. But if the sample paper is going to be released in the second week of November, once we get that, we will definitely update our mocks as per the requirement of the exam. So this is one thing I want you to make clear. Now, this is the WhatsApp channel which I was referring to indeed. This is made in order to help you people have some kind of cohort and support you throughout your preparation and entrance to this IIMB UG program. So this will help you in many ways. One thing is that they will, on this particular WhatsApp channel, our team will definitely keep posting free preparation resources and important updates. Let's say the end date of application or the exam date or even the process, everything. I mean to say, at the same time, you will get some batch of people who are preparing for this exam. You can grow together, you can ask your doubts, get to grow and even increase your scores. Let's say your mock scores, or let's say even till the final exam, you should be scoring pretty high. Indeed, that is the aim ultimately. So I will give you a brief on how each section is going to look in the way and what kind of strategy you should be putting behind your mind when you give this mock. Let's say when you attempt our Cracku mock test. So basically, you will be getting English comprehension 15 questions as mentioned in the pattern. Here, one thing is that definitely reading comprehension will be a part of it, 100%, no doubt at all. As it is 15 questions, there could be, let's say, 2 RCs, 2 reading comprehensions. 1 RC is 4 questions, let's say. I mean, here they can make some 8 questions. So here, what will make you ace these 8 questions is basically the people who are going to appear this exam. There, to the best of my understanding, there will be 2 kinds of people if I can segregate. One is someone who is really very good at reading comprehensions, who might have studied at some, let's say, premium international schools, ICSE or whatever they have done. They will be definitely a bit advantageous position to ace this. But having said that, you should definitely focus on daily reading. What kind of things I have to read so that your comprehension improves, because once your comprehension improves, then these 8 questions accuracy will go high. Once your comprehension increases, this 8 questions, the score which you get out of this 8 will definitely go high or even improve from the stage which you are currently in. So what kind of sources you can look at? You can look at Smithsonian Magazine or New York Times. I would prefer you to read the Western content itself. If someone is interested in reading, let's say, Indian newspapers, the Hindu editorials or the Indian Express editorials, definitely you can do that because that will increase your comprehension. But having said that, I am expecting comprehensions which are of Western culture, about the thinkers, philosophy, or let's say current topics like technology, economics. These are the topics which I intend to look forward for. So it's better if you start reading the things which are written by the Western authors, let's say. So I'm expecting 2 RCs, each one of 4 questions, so 8 questions. So basically, you can segregate, as I mentioned, you can segregate 2 kinds of people in this RCs. One is someone who is really good at comprehension currently, and some other people who are really not so good at it, they're improving. So what kind of things you have to do for the next 40 days so that you can improve your score in this particular part of reading comprehension? I would ask you people to read from multiple sources. Extensive reading habit. I mean to say, daily you should read few articles. When I term the thing of articles, you could pick any source from global context. I mean to say, you could choose websites like Smithsonian Magazine or Aeon Essays, let's say, or even the Hindu newspaper. If someone is good at or having an habit of reading newspaper, you can definitely continue doing that. And these kind of economic times. So because when you get exposed to different kinds of cultural topics and even the philosophical topics, that will make your comprehension even better than what you are currently having. having said that, when you do it on a regular consistent basis, that will improve your score automatically from these 8 questions for sure, definitely. So the point is that do pick the global context essays or articles. Let's say global context, you have to pick one thing, and this is for reading comprehension of 8 questions, because here what matters is the time. The amount of time you're going to spend on each RC will be definitely a bit low. Let's say you'll get you tend to spend how much? You tend to spend 8 minutes, let's say, per RC, let's say 8 minutes per RC, let's say 8 minutes. So in this 8 minutes, you should be able to read the comprehension, comprehend it well, then answer the following 4 questions. So definitely do prefer global essays to read on a daily basis. And the second part in the same English comprehension, which I'm expecting is to be from verbal ability, which they call usually. One is like a para summary kind of questions. The other is sentence insertion. The third is para jumble or odd one. What is this para summary? Is that they just give a paragraph of, let's say, 3 to 4 lines, which you have to read, and they ask you to summarize, and they give you 4 options following, where they give a summary in 4 options, A, B, C, D. You have to pick the best choice. You have to pick the choice which covers it in broad, and you have to pick the choice which will focus on the main point rather than on examples a lot. So this is usually a bit tricky, where you tend to see, yeah, out of 4 options, probably 2 are right, 2 are wrong. So but the end of the day, it is a single correct question. So you have to pick only one option. So you have to have more amount of comprehension, which definitely gets improved when you do this on a daily basis. And at the same time, you should be focusing on the giving marks, practicing number of questions, which anyways Cracku will be there for you to help you across this preparation. So para summary is one kind of question which you can expect, and sentence insertion, usually you will have a para and you will be left out with a blank in between that para somewhere, and they'll give the line which you have to insert in it in the right position. It means they'll give you a para, they will remove one line from it, they will give the remove line separately, and they'll ask you to fit in which position exactly in the para. They'll give some blanks, blank 1, blank 2, blank 3. So you have to decide which blank suits it well to fit that statement, so that it makes a proper coherence. Should understand what is a coherence, when is the comprehension more comprehensible. These things comes with the practice. So again, the point goes to global essays. The speed, I can definitely say you, when you start attempting the paper, you will see in 30 minutes, or let's say in 30 minutes, to do these 15 questions, you have to run. I mean, you will be getting, let's say, 2 minutes per question. So it is like 8 minutes per RC or 2 minutes per one verbal ability, let's say. So point is that you should be so good at understanding well the new things. So see, if something is like very trivial, like which you do it on a daily basis, let's say some thing like your school going, some story which is made on school going things, you will feel comfortable reading it. But what if the question is on some philosophy? It seems very alien topic to you. So in order to not get trapped into those alien topics, you should make them habitual. That comes with a daily reading, basically. So that is one thing with regards to English comprehension, and that will improve your score. Definitely it will improve your score. Mark my words, when you give this 5 free marks, try doing it. Read many articles and give your next mark, analyze and then give your next mark. Then that will definitely improve your score compared to your previous mark. So this is with respect to English comprehension. The another section, the second section which they mentioned, is quantitative part and data interpretation, which can have a measure, let's say, high weightage of 30 questions out of 60. So as in the syllabus, it is mentioned NCERT 11th, 12th maths is being taken as a part of the exam syllabus. So now think guys, I'm pretty sure some people may be getting stressed about this particular section, that I'm not so good at it. Or some people are, I'm good at it, but how to maximize the score to the fullest. So the point is, to each one of you is preparing for this exam, first of all, leave that kind of notion which you will have in your back of your head, where you say yourself, I'm not so good at it. That's totally wrong. Once you put in effort for the next 40 days, trust me, you will be able to ace this. So what kind of questions you can expect in this particular section is that, see, one is like arithmetic part. In arithmetic part, usually you tend to see questions on time, speed, distance, let's say, or work. They will give basically person A started his journey from point, let's say from Pune to Mumbai to meet his person to person B, to meet his friend named as person B with some speed. So you should be knowing the distance between the Pune and Mumbai, which will be given in the question usually. So once they give it, you should be knowing how to apply the formulas of time, speed, distance, and see at what point of time they are meeting. If both are moving towards each other, opposite to each other, these are the kind of cases which they make. So this thing, first thing is conceptual clarity. Second thing is application. If in order to say more clearly, this entire quantitative part is revolved around firstly conceptual clarity, second is application. There is nothing else in this quantitative other than these two segments of concept and application. Whereas if I talk about DI, quant and DI, right? If I talk about DI is not a topic where there is a lot of concept and there is no concept as such in DI. It is pure application and numbers playing game. Let's say they'll give some interpretation, they'll give some table chart, they'll give some pie chart, they'll give some bar graphs. Pie chart, bar graphs, definitely you people have already aced them in your schooling. I'm pretty sure you will be knowing what is pie chart, what is a bar graph. So they give some values and they'll ask, there is a growth in sales. There's a growth in sales from this year to next year by 10%. So given value, increase it by 10%, you will get the current year's sales value. So this kind of application part will be there in data interpretation. So when I talk about this quant, especially arithmetic, as I mentioned, time, work, time, speed, distance. Set theory is part of 11th NCERT. Set theory, you will be seeing set A, set B, A union B, A intersection B. Basically, you will be asking number of, let's say, subsets. Number of subsets. I'm expecting a question on this on December 13th for sure on this topic, on this question. So number of subset can be asked. And when it comes to algebra, you'll usually tend to see quadratic equations, linear equations, and at the same time, binomial theorem, 1 plus x whole power and expansion, x plus y whole power and expansion, sequence and series. Sequence and series mein you tend to see usually in NCERT summation n square, summation n formulas, and how to deal with summation combination like n square by 2 plus n by 2 plus n cube, let's say. And trigonometry, this is usually in 12th. This will be one of the important topics for any exam, let's say. Trigonometric functions where you will deal with sine of x plus y, tan of x plus y. So and there is one more topic, relations and functions. This one, the way you will see equivalence relation, odd function, even function, one-to-one function, onto function, into function. So basically, coordinate geometry, I'm pretty sure the people who are in 12th will know this. Hyperbola, parabola, ellipse, this is a part of your NCERT syllabus. Probability. I'm not sure if PNC you can expect more questions, but definitely probability will make your paper one of the important topic in 12th. And having said this, some people are really good at, let's say, these topics. And when it comes to calculus, they tend to start fearing. Usually it happens. What's so different in calculus? What is so different? In calculus, you tend to see another subtopics, let's say 3 to 4 subtopics like limits, continuity, derivatives, integration, differentiation, differentiability. But having said this, let us put this topic on a hold. I'll tell you what you can do for this particular topic especially. And matrices and determinants. This is also for 12th people, 12th NCERT. You should have definitely read this. Statistics makes some, let's expect one question or let's say 2 questions. Not more, because they have to make a paper on 30 questions, which is having both quant and DI. So they can't go more than 1 or 2 questions on statistics. Though it is a statistics, usually you tend to see mean, median, mode, these or frequency, let's say. So this is the part of syllabus in statistics. Nothing more than that they'll go, because once they cross that border, it won't be a 12th NCERT or 12th syllabus. So in statistics, they won't be able to make 1 question or 2 questions hardly, because in total there are 30 questions. Having said that, one thing I have to definitely mention about, we are not sure if these 3 topics, calculus, matrices, determinants, statistics, or let's say a bit of hyperbola, parabola, ellipse. So we are not sure if these topics are going to be there in your entrance test or not, because by now we are only told that there is 12th NCERT. Let's say these are higher mathematics or modern maths, higher maths, let's say. So in order to get more clarity on if these topics are included or not, we have to wait till the second week of November, where they will release a sample paper and a bit more information on how the exam is going to look like. On that premise, we can talk after that. If these topics are included, we can go in detail how to deal with this. But having said that, you have to definitely start your preparation currently with these topics of arithmetic, algebra, or let's say geometry and trigonometry, because these are for sure including topics in the entrance test. So you should be definitely doing this. Having said that, how to ace these particular sections? Let's say arithmetic, algebra. One part is in precise, if I have to write arithmetic, the other is algebra, and the third one could be geometry. The other thing, let's say probability. So these topics are must and should. This will be there in the exam for sure. So in order to ace this quantitative part of these 4 sections, one thing is that, okay, you are anyways handling this 5 free marks. But in addition, what is required? In addition, you are required to do practice. I'm writing it on a capital, let's say practice. How is it going to happen? Practice. One thing, when I come to this practice, I want you people to know that we are already conducting everyday session of 1 hour or 1.5 hours, let's say, on each and every topic of quant, logical reasoning and verbal. So when I talk about, as we are talking about quant per se, when I am talking about quant, we are going to cover each and every topic of what all mentioned on this arithmetic, algebra, geometry, probability. In this particular sessions on a daily basis, we will be taking up questions. We will show you how to answer those questions, how to approach those questions. It's not just about arriving at the answer, it's about having a clarity on what is exactly being told on how to approach those kind of questions. So if someone is really, let's say you're a very serious aspirant, I would definitely expect you to watch them on a regular basis, do practice on it. So because here what happens is, when they mention these 30 questions and let's say 1 hour of duration, you are getting a 2 minute per question. 30 questions, 1 hour, you are getting 2 minutes a question. So in order to ace the exam in each question in 2 minutes, I'm pretty sure I'm not expecting you to do 30 on 30, but you should be in a position to do, let's say 22 to 23. Let's say this is a ballpark number which you should be putting behind your head when you are started practicing, or when you're acing, or when you're trying to ace this exam, let's say, because this is required. 22 out of 23, 22 or 23 out of 30 in the 1 hour duration. So how to do that? See, definitely on the topics, having said these all topics, I'm pretty sure each one of you have your strengths and weakness. Some are really very good at geometry and they might be a weak at PNC and probability, or even vice versa can happen. Some people are really good at all the things except geometry, let's say. Some people just worry about algebra a lot. Arey, algebra aa gaya, it's on a quadratic equation, they give some other cubic equation, roots and everything, or some, let's say f of x, g of x, people start getting tensed. But there is nothing to tense as such. You should know how to approach. What is being told, what are the techniques to solve them, how to approach them. This is what major thing about any of the quant topic, I would say. So in order to assess yourself better, first give the mock, then you can assess yourself which questions you made right, what are the questions you went wrong, which topics are those questions from. So how to strategically plan your day so that you can improve your scores in those particular topics. And having said that, now let's see what about DI. What about DI? What kind of questions you can expect? I'm pretty sure many of you already know this. Pie charts, bar graph, table data, not even missing values. Let's say they gave a data. See, any bar graph or pie chart, you can convert it into a table format. Once they give you some pie chart or some bar graph, that's a value representation ultimately. When they say a pie chart, let's say they have converted this into some sections. This is one, and let's say this is one, this is one. So if they mention something like 10%, 20%, and let's say this is some 50%, and let's say this is 10, and this is also 10. If they mention something like this, let's say, for example, then what, if you know the total value n, then automatically you can convert each section of this pie into their respective values. So basically anything, any pie chart, any bar graph, you can convert it into a data format. So DI charts, usually when it comes to data interpretation, it is mostly about the questions which are direct. I mean to say, they'll give you a information about the sales, let's say. They'll ask you which company, they'll compare, let's say company ABCD. 4 companies are there, their sales are there, they'll just compare which company sale is the highest in this particular year. If their sales record was given for the last 2 years, they say year on year there is a growth of, let's say, 20%, then you should be finding what is the value in the present year by taking those 20% from the previous year given data. So basically it is all about calculation. There is a much of calculation in DI, and I think that is the reason they have combined quant and DI together. Because if you see the third section, it's on a logical reasoning, in which usually you'll have calculation lesser. It's not about calculation and logical reasoning, it's more about thinking how the sets are made. Usually you tend to see sets. I'll discuss about those in the next slide. So having said this, quant and DI is most about the practice and getting exposed to more number of questions. How to get exposed to more number of questions with practice. So for one thing for that is that, as we have mentioned, there is one WhatsApp channel. Please do join it. You'll get regular updates, and we will try to put all the practice questions, let's say on a daily basis, some quant questions or some LR questions. So basically when you do that part, you will be ready. And trust me guys, there is only 40 days. This is not a big number. 40 days is like a very small number, I would say indeed. For someone who want to really get into IIM Bangalore, as everyone know, IIM Bangalore is one of the top institute of our country. Someone wants to get into IIM Bangalore, these 40 days, you have to put in lot of effort. As I said, you should have some precise targets. 30 questions. Okay, let me ace these many. English comprehension, there are 15 questions. Okay, let me ace at least 10 questions. And logical reasoning, 15 questions, the same amount. So basically you should have some fixed targets for each section, and you have to, you have one thing I have to mention is, only targets is not what makes you achieve your goal. What you want, what you require in addition to targets, you should have a strategy. Basically you should have a strategy in order to achieve those targets. So this targets require some strategy, but in order to frame personalized strategy, I'm referring to, because everyone have their own weakness and strengths, right? So in order to make this strategy, you should be firstly assessing yourself where you are lacking, where you are good at and where you are lacking. If you are good at some work and you keep doing it daily, still you can't expect a maximum push in your score, because you are not focusing on your weak areas. You have to definitely focus on weak areas. So you should be knowing firstly where you stand. Based on that, you could take a call on your personalized way how to do it. And there is a personalized strategy, but there is some common broad strategy which I was mentioning, that is, have this target, the targets which are achievable. If I say you have to do 28 or 29 questions, this won't be a target, because this will be very, very highly ambitious. This can make you go lots of stress, and this can make you even perform totally bad in your final exam due to stress. But this is something which is totally achievable, highly achievable. So this is the kind of strategy which you should be putting back in your head. So when someone is trying to get these many questions right or the correct, you can't leave any topic which is the part of the exam. You can't say that I am weak at algebra, so whatever question comes from algebra, will leave it. Still I want to do 20 to 23. That's not going to happen. You should be decently good at all the topics, extremely good at few topics, so that those questions you tend to spend very less time than what you spend on the other topics. With respect to quant and DI, this is all about quant and DI I'm specifically referring to. So this is one thing I wanted you to know. The next section, logical reasoning. So sir, what is this logical reasoning? This is usually not a topic which we tend to see more often in your 12th standard or something. Okay, when I talk about English comprehension or a reading comprehension, you would have told, yes sir, we have seen this in our schooling or even in college time. Or even if I say data interpretation, pie charts, or let's say bar graphs, quantitative syllabus of integration, different calculus, or even arithmetic, algebra, geometry, these all are in your 12th NCERT board or NCERT syllabus, or even your particular state board, let's say. But what about this logical reasoning, which you usually not tend to see in your 12th grade or anywhere? So basically this logical reasoning will have a kind of sets. The way they make this is, as it is mentioned 15 questions, I am expecting to be having 3 sets in the question paper, each 5 questions. Let's say question 1 to 5, the other could be from question 6 to 10, the third could be from question 11 to 15. So when they make 3 different sets on logical reasoning part, what are the topics, is there any particular concept which you have to learn, or it is the technique in which you have to solve. So usually what happens in the case of logical reasoning is that there are some arrangements based questions usually. So what is this arrangement based question? Arrangement based question is nothing but they will say 5 people or 5 friends in a school are sitting in a row in a straight, 5 seats are arranged. Now 5 people are sitting, all are looking at the board, let's say. Now they'll give some attributes or some day or some information. They'll say Abhay is sitting third to the right of Vinay, let's say. So basically you have to think, when I say third to the right, you would immediately think, okay, as there are 5 people, he's saying third to the right, let's say. If Vinay is sitting over here, let's say this is Vinay, I am saying that Abhay is sitting third to the right of Vinay. What you will say? This will be first right, this will be second right, this will be third right. To Vinay, Vinay is facing this direction. So this will be a right, this will be towards right. So they will give information in this way ki Abhay is sitting third to the right of Vinay. So you should definitely be able to think that, okay, if Vinay is in this place, then Abhay should be at the corner, at the right extreme corner. So basically this linear and circular arrangement part, this is all about interpreting the given information and able to put it on a visual format. So when I talk about logical reasoning, guys, except, I would say indeed, except this quant based and GNT, let's put aside, rest of the topics more or less it's about visualization part. More of visualization in the sense, I mean to say, when you read some data, you should be able to put it on a form. I mean, when you read some data, it's not a data format. They give a statements. Basically, they give a statement. They say, Abhay is saying, I am true, and there is some concept of truth and lie that can also be framed in the part of this logical reasoning. So interpreting statements. So what is this quant based LR? Okay, this is linear arrangement. What is circular arrangement? Instead of on a linear chairs, 4 chairs are around the circle. Now 4 people have to be seated around this circle. So they won't ask number of ways of doing it. They'll ask who is sitting on which position. How do you decide it? Based on the data, they'll say a person, Abhay, is sitting right of Vinay. Then Vinay should be sitting here, right of Vinay. All are facing towards the center of the table. So these kind of questions. So if someone is really new to this logical reasoning, when you give a mock, our mocks, you will understand what exactly the logical reasoning is about. Probably you may not be able to solve the first time, but once you go through the text solutions and the video solutions which are recorded for the same, you will get a sense of clarity how to approach those questions, exactly what they are saying. And when you do it for the first time, you tend to get stuck. Usually when you read those statements, you tend to get stuck in putting it on a paper format, on putting it on a visual format as the way which I had done. So in order to get that onto your hands, or in order to inculcate that sense of visualization part, you should do lots of practice in LR. Especially even before that, you should know how to approach an LR set. To be honest with you guys, each and every topic which are mentioned over here has its own way of approach for every topic. Let's say quant based LR. In this particular thing, they will be giving a table. Usually you tend to see table in quant based LR. They will say this is the table. I'm giving a very, very easy table. They will say missing entries. They will say this is 1, 2. We don't know this value. And they'll say this is 4. And they'll say this is, let's say 3. Now they will say that sum of the first column is, let's say 8. They said sum of the first column. That is what they give. Sum of the first column is 8. Now you should be thinking, okay, this is 3. So this should be 5. And this is the sum of the last row to be 10. So basically the way they'll make questions is that they will give the information in a different format where you should be able to analyze which number is going to occupy. So this quant based LR, when you talk about this, usually you tend to see these kind of questions more. Or sometimes you will also see maximum number which you can take, minimum number which you can take. This all comes a part of quant based LR. Games and tournaments. Games and tournaments are basically, there are some 5 teams playing against each other in a tournament, where once you, it's like there could be 2 kinds of games and tournaments. One is round robin tournament, the other is the knockout tournament. Knockout tournament, definitely people who watch sports, they will definitely know what is knockout and round robin. Knockout is just that once you play a game, you lose, then you will be out of the tournament. In the case of round robin, it's not that way. You will play at least 1 game with all other teams. Then the accumulated score, the cumulative score will decide, the table will decide on where you have to go. Like let's say IPL, many of you will watch, that will be a round robin. And knockouts you can create the knockouts key. Once you play a match, team 1 versus team 5, then team 1 lost, then he's out of the tournament, that kind of thing. So you can make different kinds of sets on these games and tournaments. And painted cubes, yes, this can be some things which already few people might know. I'm not saying that you should know, I'm saying you people might know this kind of concept where they say the cube is painted across all the 6 faces with red color. There is a cube, entire cube is painted with so all the 6 faces of cube is painted with a red color. Now if I cut them into identical cubes, then how many cubes will have a colored face on only one face, or how many cubes will have colored face on only 2 faces, or let's say 3 faces. So basically this is the kind of questions you will tend to see in painted cubes. This probably already some people might say, now sir, I already know this, I know how to solve this. That's really good, because these are some general topics which we see. But when you talk about quant based LR or games and tournaments, probably not very much common in your 12th grade. So that is one thing. And coins and weights, this is a totally different topic, guys. If you do not know this coins and weights, no, if the set comes, if 5 questions comes on this, trust me, if you never did this before, you will definitely go wrong. I'm pretty sure, because these have lots of techniques in it. They'll say you have only these many weights to balance. You have only let's say 5 kilo weighing thing and 10 kilo. You should weigh these many. Then how many times you should weigh so that you will get it onto the right way, or at least minimum. These all have, once you know the concept and formulas, there are formulas for this particular topic. Once you are good at knowing those concepts and formulas, this will be a very easy set. At that point, having said that, if you do not know the formulas or let's say concept, then this could be ultra difficult set. I mean to say, even sometimes you know the concepts well, the conditions are given so confusing that you'll definitely go wrong somewhere even applying that. So having said that, you should know this in detail a bit. Instant puzzles. What is instant puzzles? This name might be new to few of you, or to all of you, let's say. Instant puzzles are usually, they give some attributes. They'll say you have 5 people, they have 5 different sports interests, one for each. Like one person like badminton, the other like hockey, the other like cricket, the other like football. At the same time, they have one favorite food. Everyone has their own favorite food. Let's say one like Italian, one like continental cuisine, and the other Indian, so on. So basically, when you have 5 persons, A, B, C, D, E, and you have 2 different attributes like food and sport. One sport for each, one food for each. But they won't be giving which person likes which food. They just say 5 people A, B, C, D are there. They like one sport, each like one sport among badminton, cricket, hockey, football, and let's say the other game you could take any game, swimming. If you take these 5 sports, and if they say one among these sports are liked by each person, but they do not say in which order. They won't say A like swimming, B like badminton. They won't say that, but they give it on a different way. They say the person who like Italian likes swimming. So basically they'll give it in a statement format where they tend to club this attribute with the food attribute, so that you should be able to figure out which person gets matched. It's like a match the following. They give some hints, you should match it. Basically, swimming goes to which person, badminton goes to which person, or Indian food goes to which person. You should be able to figure out. So these kind of puzzles comes under instant puzzles. And the other one, roots and networks. This probably already some people might know. Roots and networks is basically, they give city A to city C, someone is going, let's say, via city B, let's say. To go here, let's say from A to B, you have 2 options, 2 different ways or 2 different routes. From B to C, let's say he's having 3 different ways. Let's say 3 different ways. Now, if I say this is 10 kilometer, this is 20 kilometer, and this is, let's say 5, let's say this is 10, this is 15. So if a person wants to travel from city A to city C, he's having different options. From A to B, either he can go on 10 kilometer road or 20 kilometer road, or from B to C, again he can go on 5 kilometer or 10 kilometer or 15 kilometer. So possibilities. In this case, how many possibilities are there? If he goes from this, 3. Again, if he go in 20 kilometer, again 3 possibilities. So basically 6 possibilities. Total 6 different combinations he can travel from A to C. Now they will give you these are the distances on which path the time taken is very less. Or they say, they'll even give the cost. Sometimes they'll say the toll tax on this road and toll tax on this particular road. So on which road if he travel, he tend to pay lesser. So these kind of questions, routes and networks usually includes these kinds of questions. Venn diagram, definitely people might have already solved few Venn diagrams on 3 set. Probably 4 set will be a newer thing to you. But having said that, 4 set can come, there is a slight possibility. There is a possibility. So we should learn what if they ask the 4 set in the real examination. So we should learn it. 3 sets probably you might have already solved. 3 sets intersection, exactly 2, exactly 1. Even if someone is not knowing this, we will learn it. No worries at all. And team selection. At this team selection, we usually tend to do in the schooling age, where we say we have 5 wicket keepers, or let's say 3 wicket keepers, 5 batsmen, 6 bowlers. We should select a team such that we need exactly 3 bowlers, let's say, 1 wicket keeper, 6 batsmen, etc. So they give some conditions. They give conditions, and so if you could see this instance puzzle or this team selection, these both usually they give statements and you have to figure out which comes under it. And the other one is scheduling. Scheduling is basically there is some passport office. There are counters, let's say, or let's say some other counter, ticket counters or something. Now people come in a row. One person go on to this, then this will be vacant, and other person goes on to the second counter, then third counter. So on which time, how many, and they'll say per person the counter spends 10 minutes. So they'll ask in 1 hour, how many people were able to get their tickets. You should be counting on counter 1 how many people, counter 2 how many people, in that way. But they just add some complexity into it by creating that the person who is responsible to handle tickets in counter 2 went out for a break for 10 minutes in between, something like this. So these are kind of cases which you will be tend to see in the questions. So these might look somewhat alien, if I'm not wrong, because Quant and DI, I'm pretty sure you'll know those topics because you already dealt them in your 11th and 12th. But this logical reasoning might look a bit of alien. But having said that, to know more about it, the first source I would say is to give a mock, like 5 free mocks. Even if you do not give all the 5, just give at least 1 or 2 mocks firstly, so that you will understand what exactly LR is. Then after that, definitely we can follow up on what to do. And strategy, if I say, unless you are good at least few topics, I want you to be good at all the topics of this. But if you are at least good at some important topics, probably you could get some good score. Having said that, your target has to be out of 15 questions. You should target for 10. You should target for 10 out of 15 questions. That means 2 sets. Let's say 2 sets. See, usually in DILR, what happens is that you need not do all the 3 sets. You can do only 2 sets, but accuracy should be full. I mean, once you solve it, you should get all the questions right. It's not that you will mark something on a random guess. That should not happen in DILR. So this should be your basic targets with a accumulated strategy. More or less, this is what I can say for now regarding this exam. Once we get a sample paper, we will dive more into exactly what kind of questions are they making or they're expecting us to solve in the exam. Based on that, we can curate our strategy of preparation and as well as strategy of mocks. Our mocks will get updated once we get the original pattern being revealed by IIM Bangalore in next few days. Having said that, you don't stop practicing, or you should start practicing immediately. There are only 40 days left. This is really a very high time. You can't still delay. That's what I want to understand.